Hey, what's up with all my wrestling fans? It's me, Josh from the Sports Fury, and this is my 2017 Backlash review. I am still in shock by what happened in that main event. I can't believe that they actually had the balls to go through with something like that. I mean, going into this pay-per-view, everyone was looking forward to two major things, right? Nakamura's pay-per-view debut, AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. The real head-scratcher was the fact that Jinder Mahal was challenging Randy Orton for the title. Jinder Mahal, the guy who was in 3MB, who was a jobber, who left for a while, who came back, got punked out by Gronk from the New England Patriots at WrestleMania. I mean, who ever thought that this would actually be a thing? But, you know, I guess when you get all jacked up when you come back, Vince pushes you into the main event scene. But, you know, I gotta say, it's something different, you know? Whoever thought this would ever actually happen? But anyway, I'll get into the main event soon enough. I actually want to start at the beginning of the pay-per-view and work my way through the card, okay? And give you my thoughts. Okay, so first off, we have Dolph Ziggler versus Shinsuke Nakamura, who finally makes his debut on on the main roster pay-per-view, right? First pay-per-view match. It's against Dolph Ziggler, who I think is, just the right opponent for him to have his first feud with on the main roster. It was a very solid debut. He took a nasty super kick from Ziggler to the back of the neck. His neck must be hurting tonight because that looked legit like it hurt. But anyway, it was a great fucking pay-per-view. Nakamura, he ends up hitting the Kinshasa for the fucking win. And it was a solid debut for Nakamura. And you know what? I am excited to see the future of this guy on the main roster and to see where he goes from here. Solid debut, solid feud to start off with Ziggler. Ziggler, a very underrated guy himself. And so I thought it was a very, very good match. Solid debut for Nakamura. So, yeah, I liked it. Now, next up was Brie versus the Usos for the Tag Team Championship. Tyler Breeze dressed up as a janitor coming out and had a mop with him, and he even started attacking the Usos with it, and eventually he got broken up and thrown away, which did not go over well with the crowd who loved the mop. I thought this was a very fun match. Breezango, they're actually growing on me. They are hilarious, and I thought they were hilarious tonight on Backlash. I mean, they made the match fun, and isn't that what wrestling's supposed to be? Fun. I thought this was a very fun match. I thought it was pretty good, and I laughed my ass off several times during it. But anyway, the Usos ended up picking up the win and retained their tag team championships. And so, yeah, my thoughts on it were, I thought it was a pretty good, very fun match. So, no problem with it at all. Next up, we had Sami Zayn versus Corbin. Sami Zayn, he's new to SmackDown, coming from Raw on the shakeup. This is his first pay-per-view on SmackDown since that shakeup. And he's going up against Corbin, who I figured was going to absolutely dominate Sami Zayn throughout the entire match. And it looked like that way for a while. I mean, Corbin was inflicting a lot of fucking pain on Sami Zayn. I mean, he gave him one clothesline from hell that was just fucking sick. Gave him a spine buster that was also fucking sick. So everything looked like Corbin was just going to dominate him and everything like that. But, big props to fucking Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, is there a guy... There's not too many guys out there who can sell better than Sami Zayn does. I mean, Corbin went to work on his lower back, and which Sami Zayn was, which was hurting Sami Zayn throughout the match. But, really, his back was hurting because of how much he carried Corbin throughout this match. Sami Zayn is so underrated, and he, at the end, actually ends up picking up the improbable win. I did not see that coming. Sami Zayn won in a big match on pay-per-view against an upcoming guy like Corbin. I never thought that he would get the win over Corbin. You know? So that was a very improbable comeback win from Sami Zayn. I thought it was fantastic. I hope it continues. I hope this momentum keeps going and he keeps, he gets into better, hotter feuds that makes him look like what he deserves, which is one of the top best wrestlers in the world. Sami Zayn definitely deserves more than what he's getting. But yeah, so Sami Zayn ends up picking the win against Corbin, and I thought that was fucking awesome. Next up was Naomi, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte going up against the Welcoming Committee, Carmella, Tamina, and Natalya. Charlotte, she is new to SmackDown, coming from Raw during the shakeup as well. I was kind of disappointed in this by the fact that they kept pushing and pushing and pushing the fact that Naomi and Charlotte, that they weren't going to exactly get along. So this is, to me, was leading to the fact that maybe, they were going to bump heads a lot in the match and maybe even turn on each other, whatever, letting the Welcoming Committee get an easy win. But that never really happened at all. And I thought that was disappointing. And the Welcoming Committee, Natalya, she ended up getting Becky Lynch to tap out and getting the win. Becky Lynch, she is one of my favorite female wrestlers out there, along with Bayley. And she deserves, like I said with Sami Zayn, Becky Lynch deserves a lot more. To me, I think she deserves a long run with the Women's Championship. Not to take anything away from Naomi. I like Naomi. She deserves to be champion. But eventually, Becky Lynch deserves to have a long run with that title because I'm a huge fan of hers. But yeah, this match was kind of disappointing. I didn't really care for it. Whatever. Anyway, moving on to Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles, the show stealer. Holy shit, how awesome was this match? It was fucking great. I mean, you're talking about some great spots in this match. Kevin Owens, he hits AJ Styles with a nasty neck breaker that just looked brutal as shit. I mean, Owens, he goes to work on AJ Styles' right leg. He even puts him in a fucking ankle lock. I mean, and he was really going to work on AJ Styles' leg. And AJ Styles' right leg, he was limping on it for the whole rest of the match. It was just great storytelling, right? During this match. Because AJ Styles, later on, he hit the sunset flip powerbomb to Kevin Owens from the top rope. Oh my god, that was fucking awesome. And then later on, Kevin Owens suplexed AJ Styles from the top rope. That was fucking awesome. And then right after that, AJ Styles suplexes Kevin Owens spine first into the edge of the apron, landing them outside. That was fucking awesome. There was tons of great spots in this match. It was a fucking red hot match that had the crowd fucking going throughout the entire way. It was just show stealing. Absolutely. And now, I want to get to this. So, they're outside. AJ Styles is on the announce table. And his leg gets stuck in this opening of the announce table, and he can't get out of it. Kevin Owens gets it back into the ring, and AJ Styles gets counted out. And a lot of people were disappointed with this. I mean, on Twitter. And I don't understand it. I thought this was a great ending to this match. Why? Because this feud is not ending anytime soon. This feud is going to continue for a long time. Well into SummerSlam, at least, right? So, with this type of ending, neither one of them truly loses to the other, right? AJ Styles didn't get pinned by Kevin Owens. He didn't get tapped out by... he didn't tap to Kevin Owens, which could have happened during that ankle lock. And Kevin Owens doesn't lose to AJ Styles, right? This ends via countout. Neither one of them looks weak, and this feud's going to get red hot, and it's going to continue, and they're going to have, more matches. So I was fine with the ending of this match because of those reasons. So, I mean, there's going to be more to come, guys. So, guys, if you were disappointed by that, that's why they did it that way. So that way, neither one of them truly loses to the other by pin or count out, or, tap out. And this leads to them looking more stronger going forward, and their feud getting even more red hot. So I was absolutely fine with the ending of this match, and this match was great. It was a show stealer. It was fantastic. Can't say more good about it. Awesome. Now, next up was Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan. Luke Harper coming out wearing Dean Ambrose's ring gear, pretty much. Man, these guys, they had to follow that fucking Styles Kevin Owens match, and that kind of sucked because the crowd was dead. They were spent. And you know, poor Luke Harper, man. This dude, I don't know about you guys, but Luke Harper is one of the fucking most underrated wrestlers in the WWE. This guy is great. He's a great big man. He puts his heart and soul in every fucking match, right? And he ends up picking up the win, right? And he's so into it. And he gets the 1, 2, 3, and the crowd goes mild. Luke Harper deserves better than that. He should be getting pushed like fucking Braun Strowman, right? Like how he is over there on Raw. He shouldn't be just left in these kind of matches, right? Where the crowd just doesn't really give a shit or can't get into it. He deserves better than that. At least I think so. But Luke Harper ends up picking the win. And that leads us into our main event. Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton for the WWE title. And, you know, Randy Orton, he started off attacking Jinder before the bell even rang. So before the match even gets underway, Orton gets a whole bunch of shots in. But eventually, they get back in the ring, bell rings, and the match is officially underway. And, you know, I'm going to say, this match wasn't all that bad. Sure, there was some, you know, there was quite a bit of rest holds and stuff like that. But, you know, Jinder, he's kind of like an old school type of wrestler, right? In the sense that, you know, he works on a particular body part or whatever. And, you know, he does those kind of rest holds and shit like that. As opposed to, you know, doing a whole bunch of high spots. And, you know, the crowd was feeling it, man. Jinder Mahal, here he is. Jinder Mahal, who used to be a fucking jobber, he's now in a main event in a championship match, and he was getting cheered on by the fans. People were cheering Jinder Mahal. They were getting behind him. And I just thought that was fucking crazy. Who would have ever fucking thought that shit? And, you know what? And at one point I started thinking, no other championships switched hands throughout the entire night. So I started thinking, right? I started going, are they going to do what I think they might do? No way. Not going to happen. It happened. Jinder Mahal hit the Colossus on Randy Orton, and he pinned him. 1, 2, fucking 3. Jinder Mahal wins the WWE Championship. Everybody was so fucking shocked. Even the people who were going for Jinder Mahal, who wanted him to win, the people who didn't really care either way, they just wanted to see something different. No one actually thought that the WWE would actually have the balls to pull that off. To actually pull the trigger on that decision and say Jinder's gonna win the title over Randy Orton. What the fuck? I mean, there are people literally going like, what the fuck just happened? And you know what? I like it. Fuck it. I like it. I mean, I've been watching wrestling my whole life. I go all the way back to the late 80s. I mean, for someone like me, it's hard to, you know, get one over on us. You know? When you've been watching wrestling long enough, you don't get shocked anymore. Almost never. You almost never get shocked anymore. Right? You see almost everything coming. This, I never would have thought they would actually let Jinder win the title. No way. But he did. And I kind of respect that shit. I mean, it's something different, right? And it was shocking. And it's in this era where it's so hard to shock anybody these days, to make people go like this all throughout the arena and on Twitter, you gotta respect that shit, man. That takes some fucking balls. Now I'm curious to see what happens. What goes on from here? How long does he actually carry the title? I don't know. But anyway, that's me. That's how I feel about it. And that's how I feel about this entire pay-per-view. I would categorize, I would sum up this whole pay-per-view as shocking. Because Jinder Mahal is now the champion. But again, that's me. I want to know what you guys think about Jinder Mahal being the champion. Are you with it, or are you saying fuck that shit? And tell me what you thought about the rest of the pay-per-view. And if you liked this review, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with your friends. And, man, Jinder Mahal is the champion. Whoo, shit. I'll see you guys in the next wrestling video. Wow.